What is going on, everybody? I am back. How y'all doing? After 2 weeks, I am back, and we're here for your WWE Monday Night Raw review and results show for today, Monday, September 11th, 2023, the final Monday Night Raw under the current Vince McMahon administration. Let's see what this is all about. I don't think it was the best show, but we'll pick it apart and break it down like only we can right here on Beyond the Ring with Big T, so kick back, relax. We're going to hit the music and the introductions and get everything going here, get this party started. So stay right here, and your WWE Monday Night Raw review and results show will be coming your way next. Don't go away, because I will be right back.
This is M-Dog20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you are checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T.
Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring. Days of Out.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. How you doing out there? Hope you're ready for a Monday Night Raw review and results show, since what we're here for. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm your host, Big T, right here with all of you guys today. And this is your WWE Monday Night Raw review and results show for today. Monday, September 11th, 2023. And it was also the last Monday Night Raw under the Vince McMahon administration. The very last one. I am pretty surprised, that the merger is taking place tomorrow officially. Endeavor's taken over. So, it's going to be a new era of WWE. And I really don't know how good it's going to be, because Vince McMahon will probably definitely has more power than he does now, because Ari Emanuel is buddies with Vince McMahon. We all know this. So, let's see here, guys. Let's get right into the show, and I'll tell you about what we got. Alright, so first off, let me take a look here. Just see if there's any stories. Because I do have something. Alright. There were certain things on Monday Night Raw as far as last minute changes and things like that. So first off here, let me start. I usually do this last, but we'll do this first. WWE Monday Night Raw for Monday, September 11, 2023. 3 things Wrestling Inc. hated and 3 things Wrestling Inc. loved about Raw. So let's get into this here. So, this is the final Raw of the Vince McMahon ownership era. And, Nia Jax returned, all kinds of stuff. So, the first thing that Wrestling Inc. loved about WWE Monday Night Raw tonight, things making sense, is the first thing they loved. So, there are some aspects of the show opening segment involving Jey Uso and Kevin Owens that I could quibble with, namely, the fact that it was pretty obvious where it was going. As soon as the Judgment Day came out, it was obvious that they were going to have a match against Jey Uso and Kevin Owens. And as soon as that match became official, it was obvious that the Judgment Day was going to win because of Jey Uso and Kevin Owens not being on the same page. Like, we have all been watching this kind of thing happen in matches involving current or former Bloodline members for literal years now. We know the drill, right? But for all that, we're still interested in this chapter of the Jey Uso story because it makes sense. It makes sense to follow last week's emotional scene of Sami Zayn forgiving Jey Uso with this week's promo from Kevin Owens, who made it clear that he knows what it takes to earn redemption after doing terrible things, and Jey still has a lot of work to do. It makes sense that Kevin Owens would give Jey Uso a chance and end up being disappointed. It makes sense that the Judgment Day would want to recruit Jey Uso, and it makes sense for every babyface on the roster to assume Jey Uso would jump at the chance to join a new bloodline. We like that Jey isn't even hinting that he actually wants to do that. And our theory about a war game setup with Jey Uso on the babyface team against the Judgment Day is looking more and more likely, so we're not complaining. All of this Jey Uso stuff makes sense, which is more than we can say for his brother's storyline on SmackDown. Jey Uso's brother, Jimmy Uso, which we all know how that really hasn't made sense. But, That was the first thing they loved, and the first thing that Wrestling Inc. hated about WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. It says, The Miz really needed to get his win back over Akira Tozawa, huh? So, yeah, I didn't like this either. So let's see what they say. It says, with all the great things The Miz has been up to lately in his ongoing feud with LA Knight, from his fantastic cosplays to the utter ridiculousness of hosting John Cena on last Monday's episode of Miz TV, it says, I'm sorry you can't see him. Jokes will never not land with me. His work Monday night just completely fell pointlessly flat with us. First of all, poor Akira Tozawa, the former WWE 24/7 champion, didn't even get a comedy spot. I might have been more okay with this if I at least, it says we would have been more okay with this if we would have at least got a chuckle out of the match. For a squash, and you knew that was coming from a mile away. It went on for far too long before The Miz hit a skull-crushing finale and pinned Akira Tozawa. Meanwhile, anyone expecting to see LA Knight ahead of their match on WWE Friday Night SmackDown on Friday was sadly mistaken. LA Knight's music did not hit, and LA Knight did not waltz down the ramp despite LA Knight's payback victory over The Miz. He still could have used a promo victory before the match, especially after Miz ran him down a few SmackDown episodes ago. We wish there was more we could even say about the match, but there really isn't. We can say it did nothing to make us more excited for The Miz and LA Knight's rematch on SmackDown this week. Something we actually forgot was happening at one point. If we are going to be running this payback match back, you need to keep your fans excited about it. And a squash victory over Tozawa with absolutely no comedy involved just was not it. Alright, so the second thing that Wrestling Inc. loved about WWE Monday Night Raw tonight, they said, Drew McIntyre giving us something new. So right here, for the second thing Wrestling Inc. loved about Monday Night Raw tonight, it says, for the first time in a long time, Drew McIntyre is getting the chance to do something new with his character, and we enjoy what we're seeing. Monday night's Raw saw Drew McIntyre come face-to-face with Xavier Woods and Jey Uso in separate backstage segments. And, Xavier Woods, it led to a match against Xavier Woods later in the show, which Drew McIntyre won. Uso, it says the former led to a match against Xavier Woods later in the show, which Drew McIntyre won. Jey Uso, meanwhile, gets a shot against Drew McIntyre next week, and prior episodes have shown Drew McIntyre simmering over the actions of Kofi Kingston and Matt Riddle, a slow burn that is almost certainly leading to only one destination, a Drew McIntyre heel turn. That sounds great to us because Drew McIntyre's on-screen persona has been relatively unchanged since the start of the biggest babyface push of his WWE career, which led to Drew McIntyre winning the Men's Royal Rumble match in January of 2020 before the official start of the COVID-19 pandemic. We think Drew McIntyre has done a good job preserving an air of menace during this babyface run. Drew's been a good guy, yes, but for the most part he has been able to maintain a character that fans can still believe is dangerous. The moment is coming, however, when he's going to be able to fully unleash the heel side of himself once again. And the second thing that Wrestling Inc. hated about WWE Monday Night Raw tonight, it says, not another thrown together women's tag team. So let's see here. It says, look, don't get us wrong. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark are easily two of our favorites in the women's division. While we do think a partnership between them is cool in theory, however, we would rather see them both built up as single stars, especially because they both recently had partnerships with Ronda Rousey and Trish Stratus, respectively. We would much rather see Zoe start feud with Trish Stratus, which we honestly expected to happen after they split up, and Shayna Baszler put on some bangers with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Furthermore, while we want Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark to both have a singles run, we can't say that we were a fan of the former's match against Chelsea Green, Shayna Baszler's match against Chelsea Green. We can understand having Piper Niven run interference for Chelsea Green as her tag team partner, but she seemed to be pulling the focus away from Chelsea Green. And if that was the case, we don't understand why Shayna Baszler did not just face Piper Niven instead. In fact, seeing Shayna Baszler conquer a bigger opponent would have made more of a splash in our eyes anyway. And the third thing that Wrestling Inc. loved about WWE Monday Night Raw tonight, it says, yes, more Chad Gable versus Gunther, please and thank you. So let's take a look at this third thing that Wrestling Inc. loved. This was overall a pretty drab, boring episode of Raw, at least for us. Where it found life, though, was basically anytime Chad Gable and Gunther were on the screen. Their promo exchange, which started with Gunther's Intercontinental Championship celebration speech as he broke the record as the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion now, and it turned into Gunther accusing Gable of being a terrible father for wanting his family to come and watch him lose again. That was absolutely excellent, and included some of Gable's best work on the microphone as an earnest babyface who wants another shot at the Intercontinental title. The subsequent brawl ended up bringing out Tommaso Ciampa to help out Chad Gable and Otis, and the six-man tag team match that came out of that was probably the best match of the night, and it ended with Chad Gable notching yet another win over Imperium, tapping out Giovanni Vinci. All in all, it seems like we are heading for a fourth Gunther versus Chad Gable match for the Intercontinental title, and we really hope they let Gable win this time now that Gunther has officially broken the honky-tonk man's record. Chad Gable is the perfect guy to hold that Intercontinental Championship, and it is officially time for Gunther to move on to bigger and better things. Admittedly, we are not sure how and why Ciampa fits into this whole thing. Him helping the Alpha Academy, Ciampa, it came out of nowhere, and we are struggling to come up with a reason for it beyond they needed another babyface for the six-man tag. Johnny Gargano remains resolutely off of TV, but it seemed like there was yet another DIY tease on Monday Night Raw, with the finish of the six-man tag team match resembling the finish of the tag title match at NXT TakeOver Toronto in 2016, where Ciampa and Gargano won the tag belts. Does that mean anything, or is this just all they could find Ciampa to do right now? A wild theory here. Ciampa turns on Gable and joins Imperium, replacing an ousted Giovanni Vinci. Wilder theory, Ciampa turns on Gable and Gargano returns as a heel, setting up Alpha Academy, who have Maxine Dupree against an evil DIY and Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. That would rule. And then the third thing that Wrestling Inc. hated about WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. Let's take a look at this third thing here that they hated. It says, we do not want to talk about interrupted promos. So, let's see. It says, we look forward to Cody Rhodes segment most of the time because it makes us very happy, which makes wrestling more enjoyable. So, of course, when we saw Raw was supposed to be opening to Cody Rhodes coming out to ask Norfolk what they want to talk about. We were excited. Then he didn't, which is fine. He was still advertised at the top of the show, so it had to be coming at some point, right? Well, not exactly. Cody came out, and he gets all the fancy pyro, the massive whoa, and all the other good stuff. He is in the ring, he gets on the microphone and drops the line. Then the Judgment Day's music hits, and we all audibly groaned because, we were actually pretty curious as to why Cody Rhodes decided to pull all the strings and call in all his favors to get Jey Uso to Raw. There's also still the mystery factor of who is going over to WWE Friday Night SmackDown in Jey Uso's place. Could it be Cody Rhodes himself, possibly to get closer to Roman Reigns? We did not find out the answers to either of those questions tonight, because Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough came out to the usual massive course of boos and said something about Uso joining the Judgment Day. Cody then went on the offensive on Dominic, and, Cody was attacked by JD McDonough and then sent both of them flying out of the ring. Once again, we get an interrupted promo with no more than 20 seconds of someone talking when the troop is overused, as it is right now in both WWE and AEW. It is one of our biggest wrestling pet peeves that we had already seen that at multiple points of the night, so this did not work for us in that regard. If we could have at least gotten an answer from Cody about why he wanted to bring Jey Uso to Raw, and then the interruption came, we would have been a little more satisfied by this segment. But sadly, our curiosity remains unquenched. If you're not going to let Cody finish the story, at least let him finish his damn promo. So, that's what we got. That is what we got there. So now that we got done with the 3 things Wrestling Inc. loved and hated about Raw, let's talk about a few things. Matt Riddle reportedly absent from tonight's Raw and pulled from the weekend live events. After an alleged incident at JFK Airport triggered an internal investigation over the weekend, PW Insider's reporting that Matt Riddle is not at WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. Sources within the WWE also told PWI that Matt Riddle is no longer expected to work weekend live events in Idaho and Washington, where he had previously been booked. On Saturday, Riddle took to Instagram in a now-deleted post, alleging a police officer sexually assaulted him. Riddle also shared a photo of the officer he was accusing. According to TMZ Sports, there is now an ongoing investigation surrounding the incident. Law enforcement sources said Port Authority officers got a call for a disorderly person who was reportedly identified as Matt Riddle, whom they met in the terminal after he had left a plane. There was no police report filed, and Riddle was reportedly apologetic about the incident, making Riddle's claims a surprise to those involved. WWE has not issued any statements about the incident publicly. Riddle has been involved in an ongoing storyline with Drew McIntyre on Raw, which has seen Drew reluctantly serve as Riddle's tag team partner. The angle has represented Riddle's most significant and regular TV presence since returning to the WWE programming in April. Riddle was written off of television in December of last year after reportedly failing a drug test. Riddle was also accused of sexual assault by independent wrestler Candy Cartwright as part of the Speaking Out movement in 2020, allegations which Riddle denied. So, that's what we got. Alright, folks, so that's one story about Matt Riddle. Let me see what else I got, because I do have a couple of things. That I do want to get to with you guys. So let's see. There is rumors on LA Knight's reported WWE contract talks. It was reported last week that the WWE and LA Knight were finalizing a new contract for the Slim Jim Battle Royal winner, LA Knight, and that a new push would come for LA Knight once the deal was closed. Now there are clarifications to that initial report. Fightful Select is reporting that LA Knight and WWE are still far apart on financial compensation, and that no deal is imminent. LA Knight's contract runs well into 2025, meaning there's roughly a year and a half for the two sides to come to terms on a new agreement. It was also relayed to Fightful that any future push for LA Knight is not tied to a new contract, noting that many talent have contracts due to expire in the next year or two, making LA Knight's situation far from unusual. LA Knight is reportedly thought of highly by WWE management, recently earning a major show of support from WWE star John Cena, who not only counted the pinfall for LA Knight's victory over former WWE champion The Miz at Payback, but also raised LA Knight's hand in front of the crowd in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's PPG Paints Arena during the Payback Premium Live event earlier this month. WWE's main office is currently being pulled in many directions at the moment, as the WWE is set to finalize its merger with the UFC under its new parent company, Endeavor. WWE and UFC will exist together under the corporate umbrella of the new TKO Group Holdings, a live entertainment and media company that is worth over $21 billion. The merger deal is expected to close on Tuesday. So, that's some stuff on LA Knight. And let's see. Several last-minute changes made to WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. It's Monday night's WWE Raw. So, there were reportedly multiple last-minute changes to WWE Monday Night Raw on Monday, including the opening segment. According to Fightful Select, initially Cody Rhodes was supposed to kick off the episode, his first appearance on Raw since the Payback Premium Live event, where Cody announced he pulled strings to get Jey Uso added to the Raw roster. Jey Uso actually kicked off tonight's episode of Raw with Kevin Owens coming out to talk with him in the ring before both men were interrupted by the Judgment Day. The opening segment led to a tag team match between Jey Uso and Kevin Owens going up against Finn Balor and Damian Priest, which saw Jey Uso accidentally superkick Kevin Owens. Fightful also reported that WWE main event match tapings changed a few times. Natalya vs. Zoe Stark was pulled from main event, and Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin vs. the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, was moved from Raw to main event. The WWE Women's World Championship match with Rhea Ripley once again facing off against Raquel Rodriguez, with the NXT North American Champion Dominic Mysterio barred from ringside, was set to main event the episode of Raw. Was also set to main event, and then the episode, then Raw also saw Gunther's Intercontinental Championship record-breaking reign celebration, which led to a six-man tag team match involving Imperium against Alpha Academy and Tommaso Ciampa. And those, my friends, are a few things that you got there as far as news. And now that we got everything that we need, and the little news and notes and everything else that I just gave you guys, let's get into Monday Night Raw itself. WWE Monday Night Raw review and results for Monday, September 11th, 2023. September 11th, 22 years ago on this terrible day, the awful tragedy happened. And I have a couple of things here to share about September 11th. WWE stars share September 11th tributes on social media. It says today marks the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. September 11th terrorist attacks. Various WWE superstars have reacted by posting tributes on social media. The LWO's Zelina Vega, whose father died as a result of the September 11th attacks, wrote on Twitter, "Love you, Dad, 3/26/68 to 9/11/01. The inaugural WWE Queen's Crown winner Zelina Vega also uploaded a video of her brother reciting a poem written in honor of her late dad. And you see, the tweet and everything down below. Very, very sad. Along with the American flag and folded hands emojis, WWE's on-screen authority figure Adam Pearce wrote, "Never ever forget." End quote. 2023 Men's Royal Rumble winner Cody Rhodes and the Judgment Day's Damian Priest also public tributes on Twitter, as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes posting an image of light shining up from where the original World Trade Center stood, while the current Men's Money in the Bank contract holder Damian Priest shared a similar image and wrote #NeverForget with the American flag emoji. Meanwhile, former WWE star Mandy Rose posted #NeverForget 9/11 folded hands emoji and the American flag emoji, while former WWE Intercontinental Champion Lance Storm typed, "At times it feels like it was a lifetime ago, but on this day each year it feels like it was yesterday. 9/11, the day I will never forget. That morning, waking up in Houston to the news and watching the towers fall. #NeverForget. Two-time WWE Hall of Famer, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, woo! Also shared an image of the National September 11th Memorial and posted, 9/11, we will never forget, #September 11th. WWE, which broadcast a live episode of WWE SmackDown in Houston, Texas, just 2 days after the attacks, posted a video of Lillian Garcia singing the American National Anthem at that post-9/11 show, along with the clip. The Stamford, Connecticut-based promotion WWE wrote on their Twitter page, #NeverForget, in a tweet. So that was one thing. And then also about 9/11, Matt Hardy recalls WWE locker room's reaction to 9/11, Vince McMahon's fearlessness. So it says today marks 22 years since the September 11 terrorist attacks. During an appearance on his Extreme Life podcast, AEW's Matt Hardy described how the WWE locker room reacted to the tragic events of September 11, 2001. WWE was set to tape an episode of WWE SmackDown that same evening. Matt Hardy says, and I quote, "I remember we were waiting like, what is going to happen because we have SmackDown in Houston, Texas," Matt Hardy says. This happened at, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning is when the planes hit the buildings, right? Early in the morning. Our call time is noon to 1 o'clock. I know we're on Central Time in Houston. We're just like, what is going on about the show? We were trying to find out, and then there was a company-wide email. They were texting people whatever, and they said, we're not sure what we are going to do, just everybody stand by, we'll have you an answer by this afternoon. So Matt Hardy continues on, I quote, "So we don't know if the show was going ahead, whatever. And then obviously everything shut down, so the show was not a go. And they said, so we're going to get back with you. I remember me and my brother Jeff Hardy, we just wanted to drive home. I just wanted to get home and be with my dad and be with my family because we did not know." And everybody was like that. Shane Helms was like that. Nobody knew what was happening or what was coming. Everybody wanted to go home. Matt Hardy said the roster received text saying that the WWE was going to extend the booking of their rooms in Houston, Texas, so they could stick around and broadcast SmackDown live on Thursday, September 13, 2001. So Matt Hardy explained that it was shocking to hear that they had to stay at the beginning. Matt Hardy said it was a long 2 days in Houston, Texas. Vince had his mind made up. On the live broadcast of SmackDown on September 13, 2001, Vince McMahon, the executive chairman of WWE, delivered a raw and powerful speech about the United States. Matt Hardy spoke about Vince McMahon's fearlessness during that distressing period. Matt Hardy says, and I quote, "Vince is a fearless human being." Matt Hardy says he was not afraid of stuff. There were so many people that were just worried. Like, if we're the first big public gathering, does that make us a target? I felt like that. It was very strange. I was very concerned and worried during that day. But Vince had his mind made up. He was like, nobody stops me. Nobody stops World Wrestling Entertainment, and we're going to do the show, damn it. End quote. Matt Hardy said he wasn't against running the live episode of SmackDown so soon after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Matt Hardy pointed out that WWE's performers were given the option to wrestle on the special broadcast. Matt Hardy felt the locker room was concerned because it was such an uncertain time. In 2021, WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam, RVD, also remained in Houston for the post-9/11 SmackDown show and said he thought the event was a horrible idea at the time. This was from the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast. Wrestling Inc. did the transcription of it. And there you go. So, there's a couple things that I was able to kind of throw your way, so there you go, guys. Alright, so WWE Monday Night Raw review and result show for today, Monday, September 11, 2023. We hear from Cody Rhodes. Rhea Ripley defends the Women's World Championship. And this is WWE Monday Night Raw review results from Monday, September 11, 2023, coming to us live from the Norfolk Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. Rhea Ripley successfully defended her WWE Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez at WWE Payback on September 2nd, with a little help from her fellow Judgment Day member Dominic Mysterio. Following her win over Chelsea Green on last week's edition of Raw, Raquel Rodriguez announced that she had been granted a rematch against Rhea Ripley, which will come to fruition tonight. Except this time around, Dominic Mysterio will be barred from ringside. Last week on Raw, Gunther became the longest reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time, beating the Honky Tonk Man's 454-day record. Tonight, Gunther's Imperium teammates Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci will be honoring this historic accomplishment with a celebration. Despite the recent tensions that have arisen within the group Imperium, the ring general Gunther blamed Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci after losing to Alpha Academy's Chad Gable via count on the August 21st, 2023 edition of Raw. Additionally, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes will be making his first post-payback appearance tonight with something to say. World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens are all advertised to be in town according to WWE's event page. So now, getting on to the actual show itself. This is what we got, so let's take a look. We are live. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett greet audiences at home as Jey Uso makes his way down to the ring. And Monday Night Raw is coming to us live from the Norfolk Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. So we start off, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, and the Judgment Day come face to face. Jey Uso comes out first and he says... Jey Uso says he is now in Norfolk, Virginia, and then says it feels good to be out of the bloodline and on his own on Raw. But before Jey can even continue, Kevin Owens' music hits. KO makes his way down to the ring. KO says he thinks Jey meant to say that he's on the Kevin Owens show. And KO says he's been in Jey's situation and he knows what he is going through, because he's done lots of bad things to a lot of good people. As KO says, when he tried to make up for his wrongdoings, it was hard and it took a while for people to trust and respect him once again. As he says, there are plenty of people who don't want Jey in the Raw locker room, but some like Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn are willing to give him a second chance. As he says, as far as he's concerned, Jey has a long way to go when it comes to regaining his trust and respect. So, right after this, the Judgment Day's music hits and Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor, they all appear. Balor tells KO no one speaks to Jey Uso like he just did, and questions why Jey needs to prove himself to KO. Balor says that's not the case for himself and the rest of the Judgment Day, and Damian Priest echoes that sentiment. As he says KO does not speak for the locker room and tells Jey that Judgment Day's door is always open for him. As he cites Dominic Mysterio as an example, and Dominic vouches for what Damian Priest just said. As he adds that the Judgment Day has been there through his ups and downs, and Damian Priest says the three of them came out here, given that he thought they were facing KO and Sami. As he asks KO where Sami is, and KO says Sami is not there, as he says that doesn't matter because he is here for a fight. Jey Uso offers to be Kevin Owens' tag team partner, as a means of earning back his respect and trust, and KO accepts Jey's help. So, at this point, Jey Uso then superkicks Dominic Mysterio, and all five men begin brawling with one another as KO and Jey Uso dump the Judgment Day out of the ring. And then next thing you know, we got Jey Uso and Kevin Owens going up against the Judgment Day of Finn Balor and Damian Priest, with Dominic Mysterio in their corner in a tag team match. So Jey Uso and Damian Priest begin the action. The bell rings, both men lock up. Finn Balor tags in and offers Jey Uso his hand. Jey slaps it away and tags Kevin Owens in. Jey lands a back elbow before KO lands a senton and fires off some right hands. Balor begins targeting KO's leg with the chop block and tags in Priest. Priest delivers a stomp to KO's knee and then fires off kicks in the corner. KO fires back with an enziguri and tags Jey back in. Jey delivers a crossbody off the top, but Priest fires back with a series of kicks. Jey then lands a right hand and a Samoan drop. Balor and Priest are then sent crashing to the outside and Jey levels him. Dominic takes advantage and delivers a cheap shot to KO on the ring apron. We go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. Priest levels KO and tags in Balor. Balor delivers a stomp to KO's knee and follows it up with an elbow to his head, as he lands a back elbow before Jey tags in and fires off some right hands on him. He hits an enziguri and looks for the hip attack, but Balor evades the maneuver and delivers a stomp to his chest. Jay lands a pop-up neck breaker and a super kick, and then ascends to the top and looks for the Uso splash. Balor gets his knees up and tags in Priest. KO tags in and fires off some right hands and stomps on Priest in the corner as he looks for a cannonball, but his knee gives out as Priest looks for the South Ave chokeslam, but KO slips out of his grasp and delivers a tornado DDT as he goes for a pin, but Priest kicks out. KO ascends to the top, but Priest catches him with a right hand as he joins him up there, but KO pushes him off as Balor becomes legal and looks for the superplex, but KO counters with an avalanche brainbuster. Jay looks to super kick Priest, but accidentally hits KO as Priest and Jay then go tumbling to the outside as Balor lands the coup de grace on KO for the 1-2-3 and the pin of the win. Your winners of the Judgment Day. After the match, KO heads to the back, and Jay slowly falls behind, reflecting on what just happened. I mean, we go to commercial, we come back from the commercial break again, we head backstage and we see Jey Uso attempting to apologize to Kevin Owens as KO is having none of it and tells Jay off. So that didn't turn out good, but, between the whole segment in the beginning and the leading to the match, and the match itself, and then afterward, it was what it was. The Judgment Day wins. The match wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It's Kevin Owens going up against some version of the Judgment Day again. It's like the same thing we always see. Now Jey Uso's getting involved, but Jey Uso's story is interesting here. And I really don't know what to think. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I really don't know, what to think of all this here. I don't. I really don't. It's just, it's one of those things like, we really don't. It's not like it was anything great. It just was what it was. And nothing special. We then head over to a video package recapping the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther and Chad Gable last week. Then we see Imperium pulling into the Norfolk Scope Arena before we head back to ringside where The Miz is heading down to the ring and Akira Tozawa follows. I'm like, oh god, we gotta fucking see this shit now. Believe me, this sucked. The Miz versus Akira Tozawa. The bell rings. Miz looks for a big boot right out of the gate. Tozawa ducks out of the way and delivers a Hurricane Rana and follows it up with a drop kick. Miz levels Tozawa, hits him with some right hands on his head before delivering a knee to the back of his neck and following it up with a series of kicks. Tozawa fires back the few chops, but Miz chucks Tozawa onto the ring apron as Tozawa delivers an enziguri, but the Miz fires back with a codebreaker through the ropes and 3 skull-crushing finales just to punish Tozawa for the 1-2-3 and the pin and the win. Your winner's The Miz. There was no LA Knight. Nobody gave a shit. This match sucked. And this was for The Miz to get his win back. So let me guess, you're going to have Miz and Akira Tozawa one more time for the rubber match? I don't know. I don't give a shit. I hate this. I hated this match. This sucked. Next up, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci make their way down to the ring. Imperium honors Gunther for becoming the longest reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time. Ludwig Kaiser demands the gratitude of the WWE Universe and introduces Gunther. Gunther's music hits and he makes his way down to the ring. Gunther then stands on top of the podium that's in the ring, like an Olympic style like podium that you stand on when you win a gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, that kind of thing. And Gunther says that he has rewritten history to the surprise of no one. Gunther says he is officially the longest reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time. And then Gunther thanks all the Intercontinental title holders that came before him for contributing nothing. Gunther says he elevated the Intercontinental Championship, and it feels as though he is competing against himself. Next thing you know, Alpha Academy's music hits, and Chad Gable appears. Chad Gable says his match with Gunther last week was a main event for the ages, and he woke up earlier today still feeling the ramifications of their match from last week. As Gable congratulates Gunther on his historic accomplishment, and then says he saw the look in Gunther's eyes after their match. Gable says no one has pushed Gunther to his limit like he did, and then he says, Gable says he saw the tears in his daughter's eyes that Gunther caused. As Gable says he would not expect Gunther to know what it is like to watch your children cry in front of you. But Gable says Gunther managed to light a fire in him, and Gable puts Gunther on notice by saying he doesn't know how, where, when, but whenever he can, he's going to get another match at the Intercontinental Championship and beat Gunther. Gable tells Gunther he can beat him again when he gets another shot at Gunther's Intercontinental title and vows to take it from him so he can put a smile on his daughter's face. Gunther then makes this personal. Gunther asks Gable why he wants another opportunity, or what he wants another opportunity for, and then asks if what he wants is to have his family watch him get beat again. He says, well, Gable is a fantastic athlete. You know, Gable is a terrible father. So Gunther is saying that Gable is a terrible father. Gable at this point is hurt enough. He hits Gunther with right hands, and Kaiser and Vinci join in, and Imperium beats down Gable. Otis runs down to the ring and dumps Kaiser and Vinci out of the ring. Gable tries beating Gunther down, but Gunther levels Gable with a chop. Kaiser and Vinci then get back in the ring to help Gunther out, but Tommaso Ciampa runs down with a chair in his hand to even up the odds as Imperium retreats. That was a great segment. More Gunther and Chad Gable on my television, please. I mean, their matches are great. Their promo segments are great. Everything about Gunther and Chad Gable just works. I can see more and more of these guys, so that was some great stuff right there. In the words of Vince McMahon, since it's his last Raw under his administration before Endeavor takes over tomorrow, it's such good shit, pal. But anyway, we then head over to a conversation between Drew McIntyre and Xavier Woods discussing what happened between Drew McIntyre and Kofi Kingston last week. Leads to, Xavier Woods challenging Drew McIntyre match. So Xavier Woods then makes his way down to the ring and Drew McIntyre follows. The bell rings, Xavier Woods lands a chop. Drew whips him into the corner, but Woods fires back with a drop kick and hits some right hands as he delivers a knee to his head, but Drew lands a headbutt and tosses Woods across the ring. Woods delivers a rolling elbow, but Drew flattens him and charges at him. Woods sends Drew crashing to the outside and delivers a kick as he looks to go flying over the top rope, but Drew tosses him over the announce desk. We go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. Drew and Woods teeter on the middle rope. Drew gets Woods up on his shoulders for the white noise, but Woods escapes and executes a sunset flip as he then ascends to the top and lands a leg drop and then goes for a pin, but Drew kicks out. Woods tries getting Drew up on his shoulders, but Drew escapes and lands a belly-to-belly suplex as he follows it up with a neck breaker and looks for the Claymore kick, but Woods catches him with a thrust kick. Drew delivers a chop that flattens Woods and then looks for an Alabama slam. Woods counters into a roll-up, but Drew kicks out. Woods then lands a senton and a sliding knee before both men go back and forth exchanging strikes. Drew then manages to execute a Claymore kick on Xavier Woods for the 1-2-3 and the pin of the win. And your winner is Drew McIntyre. Pretty good match. Nothing spectacular, but nothing bad either. It was actually some pretty good stuff, so There you go. But nothing groundbreaking. We go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. And Cody Rhodes heads down to the ring. So we hear from Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes asks Norfolk, Virginia, what do you guys want to talk about? And then says they could talk about Jey Uso. Okay. Dominic Mysterio's music hits. And Dominic appears alongside JD McDonough. And Dominic says he's happy that Cody brought Jey Uso to Raw because it will be amazing once he is in the Judgment Day. As Dominic says Cody will not be able to do anything about it. JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio then attack Cody Rhodes, but Cody dumps JD McDonough out of the ring and hits Dominic Mysterio with a Cody cutter and then a pair of crossroads. Honestly, I really didn't give a shit. And I'll tell you why I didn't give a shit about this. And that's because Dominic Mysterio and Cody Rhodes, again, this was the one thing, the absolute one thing I never wanted WWE to revisit. And for whatever ungodly reason, they're revisiting Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio. The feud was garbage the first time they did it. The match at Money in the Bank was garbage when they did it. And now you're telling me they might do this again and go down that road? Are you kidding me? This sucks. This shit fucking sucks when it comes to that. We then head backstage to Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso. Drew tells Jey that he can't trust him and says the Judgment Day must be looking good now. Jey challenges Drew to a match, and Drew accepts, which that will be taking place next week on Monday Night Raw. Let's get into that. Jey Uso vs. Drew McIntyre officially announced for next Monday's WWE Monday Night Raw episode. It says Jey Uso is not making many new friends since being moved from WWE Friday Night SmackDown to WWE Monday Night Raw to Monday Nights on Raw after pairing up with Kevin Owens on Monday's episode to take on the Judgment Day and then accidentally hitting KO with a super kick. Uso faced off with Drew McIntyre in a backstage segment on the show. In the quick segment, Jey Uso was seen walking backstage following his confrontation with Kevin Owens earlier in the night. And then Jey Uso was then confronted by Drew McIntyre fresh off a victory against Xavier Woods. Last week, Drew McIntyre locked eyes with Jey Uso when he debuted on Monday Night Raw, with Sami Zayn playing peacemaker between the two. Drew McIntyre told Jey Uso that he did not trust them, which Jey Uso shrugged it off and seemed fine with it. But then Drew McIntyre went on saying he didn't believe Jey Uso could stand on his own feet after tagging with his brother Jimmy Uso and being in the bloodline for years. Drew McIntyre told Jey Uso that he bet the Judgment Day was looking pretty good right now after Dominic Mysterio said to Cody Rhodes on a previous in-ring segment that he was certain Jey Uso would join them. Yeah, after Dominic Mysterio said to Cody Rhodes in a previous in-ring segment that he was certain Jey Uso would join them in the Judgment Day. Jey Uso issued the challenge to Drew McIntyre, telling him to pull up next week. And Drew McIntyre agreed. And the match for next week's episode of Monday Night Raw in Salt Lake City, Utah is set and officially made. So, Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre next week on Monday Night Raw. Alright. So now, let's get back to the show itself. Chelsea Green, oh my god. and Piper Niven head down to the ring, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Shayna Baszler follows. We got Shayna Baszler going one-on-one against Chelsea Green with Piper Niven in Chelsea Green's corner. This match was fucking awful. The bell rings, Shayna Baszler delivers a back suplex to Chelsea Green as Shayna Baszler stomps on Chelsea Green's elbow and gets in Piper Niven's face and then looks to lock in an armbar. Piper Niven helps Chelsea Green slice out of the ring or slide out of the ring, and Shayna Baszler follows her out there as she gets in Piper Niven's face and then gets back inside the ring. Chelsea Green then rolls her up, but Shayna Baszler kicks out. Chelsea Green looks for the unprettier, but Chelsea Green delivers the exterminatus, right? Yeah, exterminatus for the 1-2-3 and the pin and the win. Or wait, Shayna Baszler. Yeah. Chelsea Green looked for the unprettier, but Shayna Baszler delivers the exterminatus for the 1-2-3, or it says for the win, so was it? I think it was a submission, maybe. I don't know. No, is it the Kirifuda clutch that Shayna's finished? Whatever. I wasn't paying attention to this match because Chelsea Green was in it, but for the 1-2-3 and the pin and the win, your winner, Shayna Baszler. After the match, Piper Niven and Shayna Baszler begin to brawl. Zoe Stark runs down to the ring, providing a helping hand to Shayna Baszler, and both women force Piper Niven to roll out of the ring. And that was that. I mean, I really don't care. This match sucked. Absolutely sucked. It was fucking horrible. Chelsea Green was in it. It's shit. Seth freaking Rollins, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, heads down to the ring, so we hear from Seth freaking Rollins. We also saw Shinsuke Nakamura in a great promo package, again, which I thought was really good. Hyping up what seemed to be another possible match with Seth Rollins, but anyway. Seth freaking Rollins welcomes fans to Monday Night Rollins and then introduces himself and says that he is all of the things Shinsuke Nakamura says he is. He says he is also a father, a fighter, and the World Heavyweight Champion. Seth says for a long time he did not know who he was, and then he reflects on all the different people he has been in the WWE. Seth says once he eventually figured out that fans just wanted him to be himself, and he could look in the mirror and look at his daughter in her eyes, and being at peace with his past and proud of his future. Seth says Virginia did not come to see him talk, and he didn't come there to talk either, to do that either. Seth says he came to fight, and despite management telling him to slow down, he wasn't built that way. And Seth says he thinks his match with Nakamura at Payback took more out of him than he's willing to admit. Seth then calls Nakamura out to the ring once again and offers him a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. So Nakamura's music hits, but he does not appear. Nakamura instead appears on the Titantron on the big screen, attacking Ricochet backstage, and Nakamura tells Seth that he has bad timing. Nakamura says he would fight, but he thought Seth was not medically cleared, so he decided to fight anyway, meaning beating up Ricochet. Nakamura says he will take Seth's title, but just not tonight. So I'm assuming that rematch will be at Fastlane. Whatever. I mean, the promo package, I guess, wasn't that bad. But anyway, we then head backstage to Jey Uso and Finn Balor. Balor says himself and Jey Uso are both professionals, and what happened in the ring earlier tonight stays there. And he brings up Drew McIntyre and says although he is not a fan, himself and the rest of the Judgment Day are fans of his, as he says the door is still open for him to join the Judgment Day. Back at ringside, Alpha Academy and Tommaso Ciampa head down to the ring. Imperium follows. So we got a 6-man tag team match. We got Alpha Academy, which Chad Gable and Otis, and Tommaso Ciampa teaming up with Maxine Dupree in their corner, going up against all 3 members of Imperium, Intercontinental Champion Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, Giovanni Vinci. Ciampa and Vinci begin the action as the bell rings and the 2 men lock up. They go back and forth with submission holds before Ciampa hits some right hands and lands a chop. Gable and Kaiser tag in, and Kaiser wears Gable down with a series of holds. Gable executes a drop toe hold and wears Kaiser down with a series of submissions of his own, and then tags Vinci back in as Gable goes tumbling out of the ring, where Gunther takes a cheap shot. Gable gets back in the ring and Vinci lands an uppercut. Kaiser tags in and continues to wear down Gable. Go to commercial, come back from the commercial break. Gunther's wearing down Gable. Ciampa and Vinci tag in, and Ciampa fires off some right hands. He delivers a clothesline in the corner and plants Vinci. Kaiser tags in and keeps Ciampa from making the tag. Ciampa fights him off and tags in Otis, who delivers a spinning back elbow and a body slam as Otis delivers the caterpillar and gets Kaiser up on his shoulders. Kaiser slips out, sends Otis crashing into the ring post shoulder first. Gunther and Gable tag in. Gable wastes no time to firing off right hands as he looks for a German suplex but can't get Gunther up and over. Gunther delivers one of his own to Gable, but Gable manages to cinch in an ankle lock as Vinci tags in and delivers a crossbody off the top rope. He gets caught in an ankle lock but escapes. Gable then delivers a rolling German suplex and goes for a pin, but Gunther breaks the fall. Gable then manages to cinch in the ankle lock once more on Vinci after chaos ensues on the outside as Gunther looks to break the hold, but Ciampa catches him in the Sicilian stretch and Vinci taps out. Your winners are Alpha Academy and Tommaso Ciampa. Pretty good 6-man tag right there. We go to commercial, come back from the commercial break. We head backstage to Adam Pearce's office where he looks to get Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton to sign a contract for their WWE NXT Women's Championship match tomorrow night on NXT, but not before they get into a heated exchange of words with one another. Then we go back at ringside. Raquel Rodriguez heads down to the ring, and Rhea Ripley follows. And right now, guys, we got a match for the WWE Women's World Championship, a rematch from Payback. We got the WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley defending her WWE Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez, with Dominic Mysterio is barred from ringside. So the bell rings, Raquel lands a clothesline, she looks for a powerbomb, but Rhea escapes. Rodriguez hits the second clothesline and sends Ripley crashing into the corner spine first, and then chucks her across the ring and locks in a bear hug. Rhea breaks free with a series of headbutts and ascends to the top before delivering a drop kick as the action spills to the outside, and Rhea delivers a cannonball off the steel ring steps. She gets Raquel back inside the ring and delivers a sliding knee to her face, and then fires off right hands on her head and follows it up with another drop kick. Raquel dumps Rhea out of the ring and delivers a big boot to her face. We go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. Rhea cinches in a figure 4 leg lock on Raquel. Raquel escapes and Rhea sends her crashing into the top turnbuckle face first. She fires off some forearms before both women level one another with big boots. They go back and forth exchanging right hands, but Rhea eventually gains the upper hand with a boot to Raquel's midsection and a suplex. And she sets up for the Riptide, but Raquel fights her way out and sends Rhea into the top turnbuckle face first as she follows it up with a back body, dropping a big boot, and then looks for a corkscrew elbow. Rhea puts a stop to her momentum and ascends to the top as she lands a splash. She goes for a pin, but Raquel kicks out. Rhea delivers a baseball drop kick under the bottom rope and looks for the cannonball off the apron. Raquel catches her and sends her crashing into the announce desk shoulder first. She power bombs her onto the apron and gets back inside the ring. Out of nowhere, Nia Jax appears and delivers a Samoan drop to Raquel Rodriguez on the outside. Rhea Ripley catches Raquel with a knee as she gets back inside the ring and follows it up with a riptide for the 1-2-3 and the pin and the win. Your winner and still the WWE Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley, retaining the title after the match. Nia Jax headbutts Rhea Ripley in the center of the ring and delivers the leg drop to her neck, as Nia Jax then delivers the sit out and slaps Rhea Ripley. Then, as far as news here, Nia Jax returns to WWE, attacks Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez on Raw. Nia Jax is shockingly and suddenly back in WWE. The former Raw Women's Champion stormed back onto the brand at the end of Monday night's episode. She appeared at ringside during Rhea Ripley's defense of the WWE Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez. Nia's involvement quickly led to Raquel's defeat, but in the aftermath of the match, Nia made it clear that she was not there to support Rhea, as Nia turned her attention to Rhea and laid her out with a headbutt and a leg drop on the ring apron and a bonsai drop. This is the first time that we've seen Nia Jax on WWE programming since her one-off appearance in the Women's Royal Rumble match back in January. That marked her return to WWE after she was released by the company WWE in November 2021, as Nia did not wrestle a match for any other company during her time away from WWE, though she was prompted for an event last year in England that was eventually canceled. Nia first signed with WWE in 2015 and was drafted to the main roster the following year. In addition to winning the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 34, Nia Jax is also a two-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Who cares? I mean, really, I don't care. It's Nia Jax. She's awful. Backstage details on Nia Jax signing a new deal with WWE and the end of the hiring freeze in WWE. Nia Jax made a surprising return to WWE at this week's WWE Monday Night Raw episode, and reports indicate that she has been under contract for quite some time. As per Fightful Select, Nia Jax was signed by WWE over a month ago, with sources telling Fightful that she was expected to return on recent shows. The report further said that her return has nothing to do with the Endeavor Group's merger with WWE, which is set to be completed on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. WWE's hiring freeze had been in place, actually today now, since it's officially Tuesday. It's after midnight on the East Coast, well, and everywhere else, but WWE's hiring freeze, which has been in place since the start of the year, has reportedly concluded as well. Many in WWE reportedly expecting Nia to come back earlier than this Monday. Nia Jax, who is 39 years old, was released by the WWE in November 2021, but has not, been featured in any other promotion since her exit. Nia's return on Raw was her first appearance since she was featured at the Women's Royal Rumble match at the start of the year in 2023. Nia Jax, former Raw Women's Champion, appeared in the main event on Monday, the main event of the evening, with Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. Interfering in the Women's World Championship match between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Following the match, Nia Jax headbutted Rhea Ripley and landed a leg drop, signaling her intention to go after the Women's World title. During her absence from WWE, Nia Jax reportedly trained with Natalya and her husband TJ Wilson, also known as Tyson Kidd, as well as Charlotte Flair and her husband Andrade El Idolo, who's in AEW. So, there you go. That's everything you need to know, guys, right there. That was Monday Night Raw. And everything you need to know. So, this show was not the greatest. Let's be honest. It wasn't. It really wasn't. So, what's up, Jordan? How you doing? Thanks for coming in. But yeah, there was nothing spectacular about this show at all. I didn't really enjoy it. It was just It was one of those shows that was, it just existed. It did its thing. There was nothing spectacular about it. And, it just was what it was. I will say, for Vince McMahon's, or for the final Raw under the Vince McMahon administration, I mean, Vince may have more power now with the Endeavor Group taking over. We'll see what happens. I really don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, on a scale of 1 to 10 for WWE Monday Night Raw, I'll say that WWE Monday Night Raw for Monday, September 11th, 2023, there were some things that were good, some things that were bad. Very basic, vanilla, boring show that didn't do much of anything, so I'm just going to give WWE Monday Night Raw for Monday, September 11th, 2023, I'm going to give this show a straight up 5 out of 10, was just middle of the road, nothing spectacular at all. 5 out of 10. Alright, folks, so that's going to do it for me here, right here on this episode of Beyond the Ring with Big T, right here today. And, I'm glad you guys came on in. Feels good to be back. Took a week longer off than I expected. Took 2 weeks off, but I really needed it. I needed the break. Just kind of recharge, because you guys know, up until this year, I really didn't take many breaks and been going at it for 9 years straight. So taking these breaks, it feels good. I need the vacation, so to speak. And, but it's good to be back. So hope you guys are happy and glad. And I'll be back here with you guys for AEW Dynamite review and results on Wednesday night, so make sure you're here for that. And guys, I will see all of you next time, and yes, there will be a next time for me right here on Beyond the Ring with Big T. That'll be for your AEW Dynamite review and results show on Wednesday night. And don't forget us, and we won't forget you. And of course, if you want the best, and yes, I do mean the absolute best for all of your professional wrestling needs, right here on the internet, right here on YouTube.com today. Always remember to think Beyond the Ring with Big T. And then, of course, everybody, don't forget to please check out my website, www.beyondtheringwithbigt.com. Don't forget to call into the show live on Skype when I'm live. If you have any questions or comments about the show's Big T_119. Don't forget about my social media platforms as well. You can follow me on Twitter at Beyond the Ring BT. Like me and follow me on Facebook at Beyond the Ring with Big T. Follow me on Instagram at Beyond the Ring with Big T. Everything you need is right there. Don't forget to use the hashtag Justice for Pretty and also donate to the show using PayPal. There's a PayPal link at the top of the description of this video. And in every single video that I do, the PayPal link's pinned at the top of the YouTube live chat, Facebook live comments, all that good stuff. So I hope that you guys, will do that. And then, so there you go. And then, so donate right now. Any amount of money you can donate, big or small, would be very much appreciated. So thank you guys very much for that. And then, thank you guys very much for watching and listening to your WWE Monday Night Raw review and results show for today, Monday, September 11, 2023. God bless everybody, that was lost in the September 11th attacks 22 years ago. Gone but not forgotten, and we're now stronger than ever as a country as well. So, thoughts and prayers with everybody there. And, so thank you very much for watching and listening to your WWE Monday Night Raw review and results show for today, Monday, September 11th, 2023. And of course, everybody, as always remember and never ever forget that I'm your host, Big T, and I will see all of you at the matches. And of course, I will see all of you for your AEW Dynamite review and results show on Wednesday night. So make sure that you all are here for that. And, and I hope to see you there. So, guys, take care, everybody. I'm your host, Big T, and I'll see you at the matches. Take care, everybody. I love you all. Thank you, WWE, for a decent show, but you got to get better and improve, and we'll see what Endeavor brings with the new era going forward. And goodbye, Vince McMahon, but he'll still be around. So take care, everybody. I love you all, and good night, everybody. Ha 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 ha.
This is M-Dog 20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you are checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T.
Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring, AEW All In.